Lost in Space Season 3 is now officially out on Netflix for you all to go and watch. I have just finished watching it. I'm going to talk about it. So let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of Lost in Space Season 3? And what did you think of Lost in Space overall as a whole series? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button, click subscribe. And without further ado, let's jump into this review of Lost in Space Season 3. Okay, so Lost in Space is officially done and dusted. This was the final season. They wrapped it all up, and it is now out on Netflix for you all to go and watch. If you guys have been watching me, you would know that I love Lost in Space. I loved it when it first came out, the first season. I liked season 2. I didn't think it was as good as the first season, and that's because the robot and Will's connection wasn't there because the robot was missing for majority of season 2. So I felt like without that dynamic, it just took away from the season and the series as itself, because really what the first season was built upon was the relationship between Robot and Will, and that's what we all came to see. That's what we got invested into, and the family dynamic. And then they just took the robot out in season 2, so I thought it was a bit of a drop off. Now we get season 3. What did I think of season 3? I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am mixed sort of on season 3. And why am I mixed? That is the big question, because I love this series. I love this show. Let's start off by saying season 3, I thought was a good idea to age up the characters. I did like the time skip they do in the first episode, and they do age them up, because when you have child actors and you're getting them to come in, you sort of have to make your story grow, because we know when kids start to grow up and when they start hit teenager years, they start to look very different to what they used to look like. So when you see season 3, Will looks completely different to season 2. So they naturally had to age him up in the story as well to fit that, because it would just be weird if they didn't do a time skip of a year and age them up at all. And you're kind of sitting there, you're like, Will looks like he's way older now, but yet he's still the same age. So I like that dynamic. They did that as well. That fits perfectly fine with me. I understand why they had to do that. I have no problems with that. As for the season itself, I thought having the parents and the kids separated for, I think it was almost half of this season, was a good idea, because we got to see two different dynamics happening. We got to see how the Robinson kids actually coped on their own without having their parents there to do it and come up with the ideas and stuff like that. We had to see Will. We had to see Penny. We had to see, I'm forgetting her name now. I am really forgetting her name. I'm forgetting the oldest child. Judy Robinson. We get to see, I remember the name now, Judy. So we get to see them three, really the dynamic between them. Then you throw in Dr. Smith as well, because she's a bit of a wild card. We know that from the first 2 seasons, but we get to see her develop as a character as well. And you can see the way that Judy, Penny, and Will have had that impact on her as a character, and how she is changing as a character. So I like, by the end of this season, I did like the Dr. Smith character. I did like her. She's a bit of an ass in the first 2, but this one, she gets that development that is required, and we see her go through an arc and see how the Robinsons actually change her. And we see that in one of the episodes as well with Will, when he's talking about everyone. And I like that about it, how he acknowledged her in there as well. And I really like the dynamic that they have. I like Don as well. Don is hilarious. He is so funny. I loved him in this season as well. The mother and father, I liked them as well. They were great. Having them off-world try to fight Sar and try to escape and trying to find a way back to the kids is awesome as well. I really like that, how they separated them. They had their own problems. The kids had their own problems. I like that. We also get to find out about new characters in this season that I really liked as well. But I think my biggest issue I have with that is they didn't really expand upon those character relationships. There is a major character that comes into this season that they don't explore that much, which is a shame, because I thought you had a really good dynamic that you could have explored, and we could have got more character depth about this particular character and the relationships he's going to have moving forward. That wasn't expanded upon. So that's a bit of a downer for me. There's only 8 episodes. Previously, there's 10 in the other ones. This one only has 8, which is a bit of a downer as well. There's also some other elements in the story that, without spoiling anything, that we discover along the way with Robot and the other Robinson kids and the other kids that aren't really expanded upon. They kind of just put it there for you to go, so that must be what happened. But they don't. I would have liked a flashback, like where Will connects with the robot or something like that and has a flashback for this particular moment. I think that would have been more impactful. I think you could have explored that a bit more, but they didn't do that too much. So it is what it is. The visual effects are great. I really like the visual effects. I thought the robots look stunning. Saar as a villain, there's not too much to Saar. He's just a robot that is trying to kill the humans. That's really what he is. I don't understand. I think they could have humanized him a bit more. Like Robot in this season gets humanized so much, and I actually really cared for Robot. And when particular scenes happen, I start to feel like Robot is feeling the same emotions I'm feeling. So they gave Robot a character and humanized him so that we could connect with him. Saar, on the other hand, the evil robot, the big bad villain, you don't connect with him or understand anything he's doing. You're just kind of like he's just a machine that is just there to kill people. So I would have liked them to humanize him a bit more and give him some motive, give him some things that we want to know and understand so I can connect with him as a villain, that I can sit there and go, I totally get why Saar's doing this. And this is going to be a challenge to try and change the tide and turn his mind and sway him to the good side. But they didn't do that. The ending, I get the ending. Like, I get it. I can see what they were trying to do. Personally, for me, it felt anticlimactic. I'm not going to lie. It felt anticlimactic. It just felt like it just happened. So I'm not the biggest fan of the ending, but I liked it. I liked season 3. I liked this whole Lost in Space series. I really enjoyed it. I had a ball with it. I still think season 1 is the strongest. Then I'd probably go season 3 and then season 2. That's how I would go ranking the seasons. It's a good show. It's a decent show. If you're sci-fi, you're into that stuff, I would recommend checking out Lost in Space. It's fun. There's great dynamics. The characters are great. You care about the Robertsons. You love the banter in between. You've got these comedic relief characters. You've got some great characters. You've also got the relationship between Robot and Will, which is the main thing about this show that is really, really good, that you connect with and that you love so much about this show. And also you got cool visual effects, and you go into space and you explore new worlds, which is great. So yeah, I still think there's a lot more that they could have discovered, but unfortunately we're not going to get a season 4. I think there is a whole backstory between the robots and their creators that could have been explored, but unfortunately we won't get that. So yeah, so let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of Lost in Space? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down in the comments below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.